We're live? At this hour?
We're live.
Impossible.
This is far from the latest we go live.
Hello, everyone.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Hello.
Look over my speed, you know.
Just a second. And we can get going.
I covered in my weed, you know.
I am slightly, just the littlest bit nervous because I'm slightly pushing forward something that had been planned for a while. Granted, only by a couple days, but like, I'm out of like the basically hell zone and anxious to do things I have been sitting on forever. So.
So what are we doing today, Samber?
Yeah, so today, first I'm checking my mentions because who knows, this could be important. Oh, fuck, hold on guys, I gotta drop really quick. There's a short story going on DBA.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Oh shoot. But wait, where'd you find that notification?
Oh, well you see, Poco, we'll get to that in a moment. First off, I'm gonna, this is we're doing a funny thing today. DBA short stories, sort of an offshoot of downtimes, which are an offshoot of the actual DBA sessions, where people talk and things happen. The short stories tend to be, shorter bits, scenes that otherwise wouldn't be seen on, the cameras at all. But we do these occasionally for you, the audience, to get a peek at what's happening behind the scenes in the world of DBA.
And what's
Also,
happening is
plot.
Poco is sneezing.
That was my dog.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Oh,
I think that's his
see.
dog.
Fuck.
That's
Anyways,
adorable.
That's Poco's dog sneezing. He's allergic to plot happening.
let's do a quick run through of who's here for this. Starting with me, the person that set this up and wanted to do it. Hello. You may have seen me earlier on a different stream. It's me, Sam, or Amber, or Yum Yum Bits, GM of Guild of the Unknown. Go watch that sometime. That's not now. And technical kind of GM, because short stories are weird, of this short story, which you should be watching right now. And if you aren't, how are you listening to me? Scarlet.
Oh, are we doing introductions? Hi, I'm the one who
Very
controls.
brief.
I am the one that controls the rate at which the Vanderbilts die, and none of them have died yet. That's why I'm here. Inev is a Vanderbilt. Did you know that? I knew that.
Yeah,
Well, now everyone knows.
I'm Iris. I don't do anything. I'm just here to stream.
Yeah, and we appreciate you for it. With that out of the way, there's this thing that Poco mentioned earlier of where where you
I
can
guess
find
I'm
all
not
this-
getting introduced.
Oh fuck, that's right, you exist. I'm sorry. I'm
Die.
right now.
Hello everyone, my name's Poco. You might be hearing my dog in the background, as heard earlier. I apologize greatly. I'm playing Inev, I'm playing Veni, I'm playing Otto, and I'm playing Orb.
I literally of the people to forget to introduce how.
Yeah, I know. Oh well.
Speaking of how do we know when this is happening?
Oh, there's this funny place you can check. It's this funky little like niche little Discord server called Fine Dining. Oh, whoa.
Whoa, whoa.
I don't know.
There it is!
I hope someone has the link to post in chat, because I don't.
I sure don't.
I'll do it. Hold on.
Thank you.
While you're doing that, yeah, DBA short story. As you can probably tell by the name of it, assuming that was set up, centering around Veni, Inev's funky trumpet.
That's just what I think
And
of
so-
every time I see Veni. Just god damn it.
Yeah.
It haunts me. It haunts me so much.
All right. I've got the link in there now. Don't worry.
Okay, cool.
Neat.
With that, I think we can get
Oh
we can get
Jesus.
right-
Well, actually, hold on.
Veni.
No, I can't put in the link right now. I'm sorry. I recently reset my cookies to clear up space, so I can't log into the Twitch on stream.
I'm
So
gonna go down a chat and ask Austin for the link.
Hold on.
we're very good at this, you guys.
We know exactly what we're
Anyway.
doing at every moment of every time.
Anyway, I feel like it's fine to just start introducing
Yeah.
things.
I think we can just start getting right into things. Scarlett and Austin will handle the fine dining link stuff. Anyways, so to get started on things here, right, we're looking at a funny Inev sitting in his room, and he's got his various things around. Veni currently looking a bit weird, a bit of the the black mist that was ejecting from his body it's getting a little bit thicker, a little bit more of it's coming out. But in the meantime, what would you say Enev's up to right now?
Well, Inev is probably in the midst of writing down something they learned recently. A certain identification they did, and they wanted to make sure they could write down everything, because Enev's memory isn't the greatest, but it's still good to write things down. But as Enev's doing that, I imagine they're also looking over at Veni, noticing that things are getting worse in a sense, and also remembering some of the other comments about why you have this possessed puppet. So eventually, I imagine Inev would, finishing whatever they're writing, set down their pen, typing, whatever it is they're doing, and would go up close to the Veni to properly give a look.
Yeah, you finish doing your writing. You go up to Veni, Otto, and we're just sort of in the background. They're doing their gaming or whatever, and it's a little funny because the black mist, when it first started coming out, it was relatively slow, just sort of settling on the ground, and it's still mostly doing that, but in the last day or two, it started to sort of accelerate. The mist's gotten a little thicker, and even just in the past hour, it's almost seemed to be getting more and faster. And as you walk over to sort of look at Veni, and get a little bit of a closer look, try and figure out what's going on, it is almost like jets out of each and every little hole on his body. It used to be just almost like a waterfall of the mist and the gaseous stuff, but Veni seems mostly unresponsive, but is starting to sort of shake as more and more mist starts to shoot out. It's a little concerning, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The mist is coalescing around him almost in an orb. It's seeming to just get more and more and thicker and thicker. You have a general idea of what this sort of mist can do. You'll be fine, but if it fills up too much of the manor, it starts to touch some of the other people around here, it might start to spell trouble. So far it's contained close to him, but you're not sure how long that'll last.
Well, that's certainly a problem. Veni, you alright? Nina's just gonna kind of... Is it getting harder to see, or is it just...
It's weird. It's definitely getting harder to see. You can still sort of see Veni's silhouette through the mist pretty clearly, but otherwise a lot of his form is getting very obscured.
Inev will cautiously approach, hopefully still just casually checking to make sure that still has attachment / control of Veni, though Inev has been very lenient in that in a sense.
Yeah. you still do very much have control of him, but there's that a faint something that you felt before that feels a lot stronger now, growing more and more and more. What feels like another presence inside Veni's body, and something that sort of almost seems to extend from his sight as the black mist accelerates even more, fills up more and more of the area, almost a complete, like almost completely solid orb around him at this point. As suddenly, a lot of it seems to almost attach to his body, snake around his form, and a lot, a lot's happening as if I quickly, suddenly, as things are going, as it's snaking around his form, a few protrusions sort of start to appear, made up of a more solidified form of this black mist coming out of his lower back, out of his head, as there's a... Give me a moment.
Oh.
Suddenly, the black mist almost completely stops ejecting out of him. It's just sort of settling in the familiar at this point. Small radius around him. What appears to be foxtails and fox ears have grown out of his form, made up of this now seemingly completely solid material. And it just... Then he begins to move a little bit. Looks at his hands, looks around his surroundings a little bit. Minimal movements, but a little bit. And then, he looks at you, Inev, and seems to tilt his head a little bit.
I don't think you're Veni. I think you're what? Are you the one that's in Crescent Sin?
He looks at you for a moment or two more, and then you hear a voice specifically echoing through your head, Inev, through your mind. You can hear it very clearly, almost as if your puppet were talking, but it very, very clearly isn't actually speaking. Otto and Orb don't seem to react to any sort of sound from it, as you hear its voice, and so, Veni's what you call this thing, eh?
I
A weird shadow kid. You know what? Wait, what year is it? It's been quite a while.
well, it's insert year.
Yeah, I think 2020 as
Yeah.
of current.
Yeah, 2020, general 21st century, eh? All right. I'll be real. That's a lot quicker than I was expecting. Usually, it takes a lot longer for a new person to pick up the scythe. Anyways, how do you do?
Oh, I'm okay. My name's Inev. Inev the Mirror. I picked up the crescents and the scythe after, I believe her name was Aya or Anya. The previous wielder of the scythe, Amber.
Yeah. I remember. He just looks at you for a second. Yeah, sorry, I don't really tend to remember the previous owners of the scythe. I just sort of, I don't know, just sort of goes past my mind. You said your name was what, Inev?
Yes, I'm Inev. My epithet is borrowed, and I had borrowed this puppet here, and I gave it the scythe, and it's been, I think, learning from you.
I see. So that's where you got such a wonderfully empty little thing here that I can. All right. I'm starting to get a bit of a picture for what exactly is going on here. So I suppose I should introduce myself properly. No, I never got really given a name, did I? You can just, most people in the prime time past used to refer to me as this thing called the Abyssal Beast. You ever heard of me? I doubt you have, but doesn't hurt to check.
Uh,
You would not have heard of him.
Inev shakes their head. No, I've not heard of the Abyssal Beast before. I can maybe look it up, but I have not heard it personally.
I see. Well, we can get back to that in a second. Figure out exactly where I need to start with the information stuff. So first things first. Abyssal Beast, kind of hard to say. No one really gave me a name before, but you called this puppet Veni. So I think that's good enough. You can just call me Veni. Keep doing what you've been doing with it. It'll all be good. I'll just sort of take on that name for myself if you don't mind.
That's fine. If you find a better name or one that you'd prefer, I can start calling you that. But
That's fair, but I mean, you're the one that named this puppet that I'm now partially inhabiting. So I mean,
that's fair. But the offer is always there.
all right. So, bit of a knowledge check, real quick. You don't seem completely unfamiliar with it based on how we're interacting, but have you heard of legendary blades?
Yes. Veni has one, and I have one, and I know the basics of them.
All right. At least I don't have to explain that. Long story short, you could call me the sort of being that was trapped in this here site.
And Eidolon.
Yeah. It's interesting. I don't normally get to move around, stretch my own limbs, so to speak, like this. Benefits of having a completely blank, sort of empty puppet thing, I guess.
Yeah, and
Next thing.
I'm sorry. You're allowed to walk around and things. Just for now, try not to leave the room. I don't think anyone knows. I didn't know that you were in there. My mom will probably want to talk. But anyways, continue.
Talking to other people's gonna be interesting. I can see what I can do. I might be able to do something about it. In the meantime, last bit of knowledge check. Have you heard of a little thing called the progenitors?
I have.
May I roll a d20 for Inev seeing whatever episodes that it's in?
Yeah, you can roll a d20. It would be the Den of Outcasts was the primary episode it was mentioned in, so.
I sure forgot that. I sure didn't watch the episode yet, so I might have caught a little bit, but it would probably be better for a refresher if you don't mind.
Alright, fair enough. Fair enough. Where to begin? We'll go over some brief, quick basics, really quick. So, I'm one of these things called a progenitor. Basically, very, very powerful beings created very, very, very long ago. A lot of us had a lot of power. We sort of fought each other a lot. It was a horrible bloodbath, but that was back when we were kind of the only ones around. A lot of us made a little agreement that we'd restrict ourselves to certain domains, so to speak. Each of us has got a place that, this is sort of where our power lies, and outside of it, we don't got a lot. There's a lot of details that I don't want to get into specifics of. I don't know, try and write something up, or we can talk more about it later. Broad strokes right now. So I am, I'm basically one of those. If we're gonna be working together, like I think we probably are, seeing as I'm connected to you, and this puppet, you own this puppet, so technically you own the blade, and therefore me. So we'll just do a quick little bit of, my domain is, it's one of the more conceptual ones. It's the domain of non-existence.
Huh.
If something doesn't exist, falls within my domain. You ever heard of a cotton candy rocket launcher? No, you haven't. You know how I know? Because that's within my domain.
Interesting. So things that don't exist are within your power set.
Pretty much. Seem to be catching on quick. And yeah, a lot of us are scattered now. If you want information on others, don't bother. I can't help you with more than like one, maybe two of them. I've been locked away in this here site for way too fucking long.
Are all of you locked in weapons, or do you not know that?
I wish I wasn't the only one.
Oh,
Suppose it's possible if something has happened, but I know for a fact I was at least the first, if not the only.
well, I guess maybe something we'll end up doing is looking into that.
Maybe. I can go into. I can talk a bit more later, but now that I'm around and I can speak and all, I've got a bit of a grudge match I want to settle once I got enough power.
A grudge match? With who?
Yeah. So just very briefly. So obviously, I'm this here. I've got, my domain of non-existence, and it's an interesting domain and all, but not exactly what you'd expect someone to choose. The reason why I did choose it is when a couple other of us were, trying to figure out what our domain's gonna be and all that. There was another progenitor that went by the Celestial Beast. That fucking bitch was like, you know what I'm gonna take? I'm gonna take existence as my domain. Just the fucking balls on that one. So I got, a lot of us couldn't really oppose her. She's very powerful, but I got kind of pissed. So I'm like, you know what? You're gonna be existence. I'm gonna be non-existence. Fuck you. She did not take kindly to that. That is why I am in the site.
Okay, that would... Okay. So you want to settle that however you can.
Yeah. I don't know how long it'll take or if it'll be fucking possible, but I want to try.
Well, I'm certainly willing to let you do that. I don't see any problem immediately. But,
I guess in that case, I think we'll probably be fighting together in the future, so sticks out a puppet hand.
Inev and goes and gives a handshake.
Yeah. Good, now that that's settled, I haven't been able to stretch the equivalent of my own limbs in quite a while, or really look at the world around me at all. A lot of stuff here I don't really recognize. Some stuff that I used to rule over, and then, it's eventually someone was like, hey, every time someone's like, hey, what if I invented this, and then they do, well, that's another piece of my domain gone. Like that thing over there, the fucking, computers, I was really proud of those. I was really happy that I had those. Then some bitch had to fucking invent them.
So I killed Bill Gates.
I guess that makes sense. And I imagine that there's probably things that you still have that... Actually, if you tell me something that doesn't exist, does that mean, it goes out of your domain, or not until someone, actually creates it normally?
It's a weird gray area. Sometimes sometimes it's just telling you, more conceptual sort of things, hey, there's this word that, doesn't exist, isn't used anywhere, some weird combination of letters that's a word, that's within my domain. As soon as I tell it to someone and they start using it, well, now it's a word. itself, like, is
Hmm.
gone.
It seems like a very limited domain in a sense, but
You would
I
be surprised what can come out of various people's and races' imagination. There's a lot in there that is just completely untapped. Goes and just sort of like sits down on this beanbag, crosses puppet legs. Not a bad place you got here, though.
yeah, this is my room. My mom gave it to me after she adopted me into this family, and I've been kind of living here a lot more often now. I used to live in a place called, more regularly, a place called DBA, Destruction Bench Agreement. It's where I'm usually from, and where a lot of stuff's happened. If
DBA, that name sounds familiar.
Destruction Bench Agreement. If anything, I feel like we're gonna find the person you're looking for there. Because if DBA finds it interesting, they're gonna bring it into existence one way or another. But kind of takes a seat for now.
Alright, you know, that is fair enough. I suppose then I can just sort of like wait here with you, bide my time. I'll help you out with things, maybe teach you a few secrets. Sure, it'll be out of my domain once that's done, but hey, you know, it's always a fun time to, you know, help people out. I ain't exactly the greedy type, you know.
That's very kind of you. Well, and it kind of works out because I like to learn a lot of things, both like normally and with my epithet, because my epithet lets me borrow what other people do. It, yeah, it's I've had a lot happen. I was gonna be class 1, then I almost melted, and then a lot of things have happened. But I've gotten a lot better. I'm taking better steps. So,
That's good to hear, at least. In that case, here is to a good partnership.
mhm.
And with that, I also need to send you something, Poco. Very important, because Veni's kit is mostly the same, but there's something particularly different about it compared to normal puppet kits now.
Uh-oh.
So here's a new
Oh,
doc.
oh, it's a new document. Oh.
You'll notice it's not completely finished, because I wanted to get this out, like, soon. I will fill in parts that are empty later, but for now, here you go.
Yeah, you'll notice it's not completely finished. That's because it is still within this man's domain.
But yeah, it is. You know, you'll notice I can go over it with you in a bit more in detail later. But
Actually, thinking about it, if you're gonna be walking around and things more, I should probably at least introduce you to my mom and maybe some of the other people who are here before they, do anything, because, believe me, they're a whole lot stronger than me. Like, a lot stronger.
you know that's fair. Give me a second. I'm gonna try something that I have not tried in a long time. Now that I have a body, as he stretches and focuses a little bit, and it seems like he's struggling. There's weird clicking and clacking sounds, and then he has he starts, you know, instead of speaking within your mind, sort of he starts like actually raises his like voice proper a little bit, but you can still also hear him in your mind, so it's like sort of a double speak thing. It's really weird. All right, how's that?
Oh, that's okay. That's I'm gonna need to get a little used to the double thing, but yeah, I can hear you, and kind of looks over. Otto, or can you both hear Veni now? The two of them kind of look at each other and kind of like give the thumbs up, but like also continue their game because they're like, we're just gonna let Inev do their thing.
Yeah. Ah, fuck, right. Double speak. Alright, sorry, I'm gonna have to get used to that if I'm gonna switch to an actual voice, not project it into your brain.
It's okay.
I'm just. As the kind of speech I'm used to, because that's kind of the only way I normally talk to wielders of the Crescent Sin, as it's called, I guess.
Well, that makes sense. And I guess you're your own wielder of Crescent Sin now.
Bit of that, bit of. I'm gonna be honest, I don't fully understand how all this legendary blade business works. I think very technically, the only reason this is working is because the puppet is under you, so it's kind of like.
It's kind of weird.
It's weird. I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I am basically connected to this puppet. I have no idea what'll happen if you lose the puppet, so try not to.
I don't plan to.
Sort of reclines a little bit.
Okay. Well, now that we've got your voice working, when you're ready, we can probably go, or I can go find some of the others and bring them in, if that'd be better.
Either or, I mean, I suppose it'd be fine. Oh, actually, if they're people you care about, at least for now, you're probably gonna want to keep them within a
Yeah.
safe distance from me.
Out of the mist, right? I think I'm the only person who can be in there safely. But also Orb and Otto, because they're also connected to me.
Yeah.
Okay. Let
Yeah.
me
I mean,
let me
if
go.
Inev's gonna come do it, then yeah, we can switch maps if we need.
Yeah.
We can either switch maps, or Inev can find someone and bring them in, whichever would be
Yeah.
preferred.
What should we feeling, gamers?
Well, actually, can you find the office map?
Yes, it should be unarchived still, but in case it isn't,
You
I
need
think I
to.
archived it at one point.
how fucking could you, Iris? Get out of no. Let me.
Well, I don't know when things are gonna come up.
Dumbass patrol.
If it's archived, then we
There
don't
it
want to like.
is. All right, there we go.
All right. I was just gonna say if it's archived and we don't want to bother wasting time trying to find it, we can just do it here. But if you've got it, then we can. I don't know if you were in. I don't know what the map is called.
I'll just toss it here.
All right. Let's
Oh, wait a sec. I need to clean it real fast because it was man, I used this thing back in No More Villains 2. How fucking could I? All right.
How dare you do things and exist? You're not in Veni's domain if you do that.
Isn't it?
Every time we delete a map, that map is Veni's now.
Yeah. and also the fucking desk was deleted in the Great Dungini Purge. God damn it! All right.
You
You
can
just
just
wanna
bring
do
her
it here,
into this
then?
map. Yeah.
No. It's the only asset that's missing. So like.
I just like
Alright.
I mean that's fair. If it was gonna take too much time, I don't want to like keep the viewers waiting.
Nah.
Hey,
It's ready right the fuck now. In fact, what if I forcefully drag you over?
Copy your icons.
I already copied the icons, so.
All right, interesting. So Kevaya's office is as let me extend this a little bit actually. Is as like weirdly dark as she likes to keep it, as Inev would well know. Though, of course, upon entering, she almost instinctually reaches to her side for her sword, but upon seeing Inev, hello.
Hi, Mom. Uh,
don't actually know where the other seat went. 1 second. She, in a moment, just manifests a chair from Ash.
Thank God she inherited that epithet.
No, she just summoned a chair that she owned from somewhere and just, like, places it down. Apologies.
Yeah.
What seems to be the issue today?
well, I want to bring someone over. My puppet Veni?
She blinks at Veni. Oh, yes.
Well, you know how I mentioned previously that the legendary blade I gave him was an eidolon?
Mm-hmm.
I met the one who was in the blade, and now is puppeting the puppet.
I see.
For now, he's taken on the name Veni, and I wanted to introduce him, and maybe you might know some of the stuff about him that I don't.
Right.
Veni, is it alright if you talk?
As they sort of approach, Benny, stands up straight, foxtails fluttering a little bit, one arm behind back, the other one goes up to make a coughing motion at a non-existent mouth, and there's a familiar sort of creaking and clicking for a moment, and then there's just a ah. I'll be honest, I was not prepared to figure out how to address you. Hello, my owner's mother.
It is more than fine.
Hello, Mrs. the Mirror. Sorry.
I've been... You need not worry of holding your tongue around me. Many people have said things charged with magic and epithets, mixtures of both, that have cursed me to be bedridden for a while. Point is, hello, Veni.
Well, it's not like I exactly have a tongue to hold. Hello there. Just to keep things easy, how should I refer to you?
My name is Kevaya Vanderbilt. You may refer to me as Miss Vanderbilt or Kevaya, whatever is most natural.
All right, I was about to make another joke, but you have a very threatening aura, and I'm a very weak puppet right now.
No.
Inev leans over. She's like super, super strong. Like, one of the strongest people I know, if not the strongest.
Oh,
But of course, she ever the kind-hearted individual, as it were. There is no need to be concerned with me. A friend of my daughter's is a friend of mine, as it were. You need not hold your tongue or keep your opinions to yourself. It is only through honesty that we can reach a sort of mutual understanding.
that's perfectly fair. I still think I'm gonna stick to calling you Kevaya.
More than fine. If it is what is comfortable to you.
I'm gonna be real with you, Inev. I can't get a read on her.
Just the same, if you desire me to call you something different, let me know.
All right. Well, extending the sort of same formality of comfort and knowledge to an extent. Proper introduction. My name is a lot of people in the past have referred to me as the Abyssal Beast, but never had a name before. Puppet's named Veni. I'm in the puppet now. Just call me Veni.
Very well.
Mm-hmm.
And how old would you say you are, as I'm certain you are, shall I say, ancient?
Ancient's a word for it. How long has the universe existed? A few thousand years less than that.
I see. Interesting.
That's
Don't-
pretty old.
Yeah, don't count on my memory though. being stuck in a fucking scythe for God, how long has it been now? It's got to be at least a few thousand years. I don't have a good sense of time either. Look, a lot of things are fucky. I've been in a scythe for a long ass time.
Very well. If you need help with a general... She uses heavy air quotes as she says, TLDR. I can supply such a thing of what has happened since things have changed.
See, now that's a term I recognize. Very strangely, it just sort of disappeared one day, and it was very confusing. Oh, I should probably explain disappear. Yeah, so I am, have you heard of these things called progenitors?
Yes, I have.
Okay, good. Makes things easy. There's a whole thing with domains and stuff. Mine is non-existent. Things that don't exist, they're in my domain. I tend to have a pretty good knowledge of things that are in my domain.
And one
The
can assume that you can make inferences based on what comes and goes.
Yeah, kinda. It's hard to keep track of every last bit of it, but I do specifically remember the TLDR thing. They used to be in there, now it's not.
I see. Interesting.
Hmm.
Kevaya, sort of crosses her arms in an idle curiosity. I take it that you will be here for a while.
As long as Inev lets Veni, or I guess the puppet, I'm Veni. As long as this puppet has the scythe, yeah, I'm probably gonna be around here.
She gets a slight smile to her. Well, knowing how much of a fast learner Inev is, and how strong he once was at least, you will indeed be sticking around for a while.
Ominous.
Inev gets a little blushy.
Perhaps so. If you would like to speak to more of my daughters, or my son, I suppose, let me know. I can get introductions out of the way.
Yeah. Might help.
Everyone, by the way, most everyone who enters this place is a child of mine.
Okay. Might help to at least get brief introductions out of the way. Because if I'm gonna be seeing these people a lot, it's probably better if they know that I am who I exist, who I am, and that I exist, and and
Also,
also,
not to get in the mist.
yeah. I was about to get to that. Probably, I doubt it would affect you much right now. But until I get a bit more strength, I would suggest not staying within 5 feet of me for more than like a second or two, or it's gonna start very slowly draining at you and trying to pull you into my domain.
I am at the
Which is
very
to say,
least curious. And she just, holds a hand in the aura.
you hold it there for a little bit, and it doesn't really like hurt that much. It doesn't sting that much. It's various ticks of one or so damage that for an extended period of time cannot be healed. Extended period generally being just the duration of a combat. But more importantly, if Kevaya were to keep her hand in the mist long enough, it would be very slight, almost unnoticeable because of how much stamina she likely has. But she would feel a very, very slight pull at more or less her existence itself, as Veni mentioned, as the mist tries to basically pull you back into his domain. That is to say, make you not existent. Yeah.
Interesting. She
it'd take a while to, do the entire deed, but I would rather you are graciously you are being a very nice person right now. You are very graciously allowing me to exist and not immediately trying to cut me down. I would like to repay the favor by not erasing your existence. On accident,
Interesting.
of course. Like, I don't. I. eh,
I was not
words.
imagining that you would do so intentionally.
Mhm.
With that, she just like swipes it out. Hmm. The sensation of being wounded is one that I have not felt in a long time. How old I've become. She with that just like turns around like 90 degrees and looks out the window almost longingly.
Mhm.
By the way, just I doubt it'll ever, matter or be relevant. But for the sake of consistency, Kevaya would lose 1 max stamina.
Okay, got it. Understood.
And that will make the difference 500 episodes from now when we.
That drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
Imagine though.
Like, she won't gain that back in 2 seconds.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah.
Her body is akin to fucking titanium, so anyway.
Horrifying, but yeah. Do you know anyone that's home right now, K-Bao? So maybe we can go talk to them?
Inev, one of the many things you will learn as you stay for longer in this house is that you will come to a conclusion that it is inherently impossible to know that all, or rather, let me rephrase, it is impossible to know where any but 2 Vanderbilts are at any given time. One of them is Valora.
Ah,
Thinking about it, Virgo may still be around, but I do not want her getting tangled up in its aura.
You can probably want to just sort of cap the lid on that sort of thing right now, because I just sort of realized that might be a problem. How should people refer to me? Humans use the fucking pronoun things, right? He, they.
Yes. Either curious.
I'm good with any pronouns.
Gender's a weird thing.
Gender didn't exist for the longest time till society was just like.
Yeah.
No, you'd be surprised. It existed in different ways for a lot of time, but a lot of progenitors don't do the gender thing. It's weird, but people need to refer to you sometimes, aside from just using your title, because that can get cumbersome in modern times. So I tend to, I think, lean to more towards the male side, but you know.
Odd. Simply, I was not expecting an ancient being such as yourself to have more than one proper pronoun, I suppose. Though,
Listen, I have been in that scythe for a long time.
far from me to, well, complain about it. I have
I think
Shall
people
we
would
say-
complain about you if you complained about it. I'm gonna be honest with you, Kevaya.
I am, despite the odd situation, I suppose, of my family, I do have a singular son. And she just takes a few more steps. I'm going to see who's home. I'm curious if I believe Elixiveth and perhaps Clementine would take the greatest interest in this.
I-
will meet, you will meet them given time.
Right.
We'll see if they are around.
Switches to just talking to Inev's mind for a moment. I assume she doesn't mean you when she said the sun thing. Maybe I don't know. It was confusing.
I think she is referring. I told her that she can refer to me by any, so I assume that there is at least one actual son. But most of the family I know of is daughters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Alright, good to know, I guess.
It's a very big family, and I'm happy they invited me. Not everyone's happy.
No. Wrong icon. From one of the shadows, right? Just like popping out. Just yeah, there we go. Voya just pops out from one of the shadows and starts scrounging around in Kevaya's fucking in Kevaya's drawers before just taking out like canisters of peppermint and just shoving them into her odd chest mouth cavity.
Hi, Voya.
She turns around.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Didn't see anything.
That is,
Goes back into the fucking shadow.
That
Is
would
that-
be Voya.
She thinks I
that-
don't count the peppermint every night before
that-
I sleep. Foolish.
Is that
Of-
one of the
Of no,
goddess?
Enev would know very well that one of Voya's favorite things to eat is just pure fucking peppermint.
that-
Yes,
was-
though that's her more shadow realmy version. She does have a more human-looking form that she originally was.
Alright, because I was about to be very confused about a very particular part of Kevaya, but you know what? That makes sense.
Oh yeah, also because I don't know if I mentioned it or not, but I am adopted. But I think no, actually there are some, well, I think a lot of the Vanderbilts are like not adopted, and then there are some that are adopted.
No, I just remembered. You know what? I just remembered where I heard about that DBA thing. There was a particular something that showed up in my domain relatively recently. It's weird. You don't often see people in there, and I can't really interact with them. But yeah, there was a people in there, and I think they were from DBA.
Huh.
That's a bit sussy. Sorry.
I think if I hold on, I'm gonna search for a second. I'm gonna search my memory. We're gonna give a roll to see if I can remember any. Oh, hey, this is a better memory than I thought. I'm gonna give him another roll to see exactly how much, just because. Okay, that was 4. All right. I think if memory serves, I think the name began with an R.
Riedel
That's a
Bob.
bit.
Hmm. You know, just thinking.
Also, there's a much more confusing one to deal with. Another person goes by Neil Bagel, seems to both exist and not exist at the same time.
Oh Jesus! Yeah, what a
I don't
fucking
fucking
thing.
understand it.
Just like his story arc.
Yeah, right.
Out of character. Ouch.
I'm not making
Although-
fun of anybody. It's no one's fault.
The real dummy quick, right?
Mhm.
Just a complete hypothetical. What if she would just do her fucking leaf teleport most of the way in?
Show off.
Would you look at that? Oh, I'm sorry that I'm a bit of a fucking show-off, miss. Oh, look at how useless Elixivith's epithet is.
Yeah. Shut the fuck up already. What's going on, Inev? You said we'd play Blitz like half an hour ago.
I
Sorry.
will say, Kevia would give them the lowdown, no matter how little sense it made in the moment.
Well, uh,
Alright, I
short
gotta.
short
Hold on.
version of it. This is Veni. The scythe, the legendary blade scythe, is the spirit that was in it is now inhabiting the puppet body. They are in. He's an abyssal beast, but he's currently going by the Veni name because that's what the puppet is. Don't touch his aura. It's
You've had a
bad.
legendary blade this whole time. Damn, bitch.
He's had two.
Yeah.
What?
Veni, there's the clacking noise again as Veni switches back to out loud talking. Yeah, hi. There was a thing I wanted to clarify, but then it just left my brain again. So you know what? Whatever. Name is Veni. Hi. Please stay 5 feet away from me. Except for like very brief moments of time, or you might get pulled into not existing anymore. On accident, of course. I wouldn't want to do that intentionally to any of you.
Yes, dear mother did mention that. I am a tad curious, though. She snaps her fingers, and I won't drag one out, but, she summons a pawn to stand in the mist for a minute.
With her anytime.
Yeah.
The singular pawn stands in the mist, and the longer it sits in there, the more you can see it almost like starting to fade away and, be a little bit less. I will warn you ahead of time. I don't know if Vivian has a limit on how many like pawns specifically she can summon. If you let this disappear completely, that limit is going to be permanently reduced by 1.
Normally
Because this specific
no.
pawn will not exist anymore.
Normally no, but considering her most efficient way to bring these out is here, she would just sort of like click her tongue and desummon it. Yeah, it's not just living things, that's for certain. But oh
Yeah,
well.
Give it a little bit of time, and because that looked like mostly not a completely animate object, so give it a little bit of time, and it should be back right as rain again.
Well, you're awfully well mannered for someone made of wood.
I just remembered the thing I wanted to clarify. Very technically, I am possessing both the scythe and the puppet. I cannot fully leave the scythe.
Nah, that sounds
Legendary
boring.
blade shit.
As long as you're content with that. Look at you, Inev.
Hey.
You're a fully fledged wielder now, I suppose you'd be called.
Well, the scythe I picked up during an episode. My sword, though, Mom gave to me.
I see.
A thing came to mind that I'm very curious about. Because legendary blades have the whole backlash thing, right? And I don't know if you've trained enough to get rid of that. But if you haven't, or if someone else that doesn't know how to wield legendary blades, if they were to pick me up and swing me at something while I'm holding the legendary blade, do you think they'd take the backlash?
Well,
Do you want to find out?
Do you have someone that doesn't know how to wield a legendary blade?
technically I mean, the blade that my mother gave me isn't technically legendary, it's just very powerful, so I don't think I technically possess that training. And I don't
Mom,
know if
what are you
Lixie
looking
does.
at me? What are you looking at me for, Mom? Nothing.
That said,
I mean,
would
you
not
could just
suggest trying it
regenerate
now.
from the backlash, couldn't you, sis?
That prompting alone, she just goes up and picks Veni. Just like vines attached to their fucking torso if he couldn't lift it.
I was gonna recommend waiting until I get a little bit more
Shut
power
up.
because okay.
She just fucking swings the man.
Jesus fucking Christ! I was just gonna say, if you just give me like a couple of days to build up my power, I can make it so the aura doesn't hurt my friends anymore.
Swing him faster, his voice sounds funny.
Please no.
She lifts him with a curious smile with the vines around his body.
Inev,
What are
help.
you
What are you gonna do about it, huh?
Inev, help, please.
Uh, Inev, thinks, they sure don't have a lot they sure didn't get any good borrow slots today. Please, please don't. She's kind of like a small kid trying to, like, jump up and,
Yeah,
Yeah, she's like
yeah.
holding him just
Yeah.
above him, yeah.
please, please don't.
Well, our newest member to the family does make a fair point.
As he is unceremoniously dropped as the vines return to her and disintegrate.
I imagine, would she drop it on, Inev?
Not on Enev, no.
Okay.
Yeah, I imagine, Veni falls.
Veni.
There's a satisfying, clunk of wood on wood as lands on head and then sort of flops down onto back. Alright. Alright.
Inev goes and helps Veni up.
What an entertaining one you found for us, Inev. Thank you.
Please don't do that to him that often. The puppet might be, kind of looks at the cracks, normally unbreakable, but I don't think that's too nice.
Yes, not very nice,
Fair
Lixie.
enough.
How could you?
She just gives Vivian a death stare.
She winks and she looks over at Inev. Hey Inev, actually, really quick, come here for a moment.
Okay.
She would she would kind of like motion him a bit away from Veni. Like not like super trying to hide it, but just a bit away. And Kevaia'd still be in earshot and she'd be like, if you've got yourself a powerful entity on your side, I'd suggest training it so that it gets stronger. Considering that, well, your proficiency and your epithet is going to return with a vengeance at some point. This could make both for a convenient funnel for that strength you earn, and also, perhaps you could help in the long run.
Yeah, I was kind of doing that before as well, but I kind of have, with Veni now kind of helping, I think I've got a lot of things that can be done to improve him.
She nods and she leans just a little closer and she kind of whispers, "Now, be careful now. I'm sure kind-hearted as you are, you want to see him as a friend, but you want to make sure that you are the wielder and not the one being wielded. Make sure that he's useful to you and not the other way around, alright? You never know with these things." She kind of ruffles his hat.
Yeah, and if you would, if either of them would briefly glance over to Veni, they'd see him sort of by himself trying to flex and test, the capabilities he has now that he is properly, within Puppet, and seems to be able to, almost coalesce and harden some of the shadows a little bit more around him for, a couple seconds,
Oh god.
before it
Spooky.
breaks again. Damn, can't keep that one up yet. It's
Okay,
gonna take a
Vile.
little bit of training.
Kevai also just whispers, "I'll make sure that doesn't happen."
She just nods, looking at Inev, making sure they, have heard her words and everything.
Inev nods. Thank you, and I definitely know that if anything happens, that I'm going to be safe.
Of course, dear.
Again, cracks a bit of a smile.
Well,
Thank you.
That impression.
I would
Hugs the
also,
both of them.
really quickly, also, two things. One, I would like you to have Kevaya make a roll very quickly.
Okay.
It's just a knowledge roll. It'll be pretty
Yeah,
easy
yeah.
because
Come on,
it's Kevaya.
Kevai.
Because it's Kevaya and the context.
But it is a 3.
It is a 3. So I will say for now nothing is. You don't really nothing calls specifically to your attention right now. But a bit in the future, something would, and I can message you about that later.
Yeah.
Second thing, Vivian, would you make a roll, please?
oh yeah, sure.
Is Vivian gonna be smarter than her mom?
This is for a separate knowledge check, or I guess more properly a memory check, because it hasn't been mentioned to her for in a bit. But that is a good enough roll to remember. I imagine as Kevaya was filling Vivian and Elixabeth in, she would have mentioned the term progenitors, and that Veni was, or the spirit inside Veni, etc., was one of them. That
Yeah.
term, to you in particular, Vivian, would ring a bell, because Vita has mentioned them to you before.
Okay. Well, she'll definitely tell her about that later then. For now, Vivian walks up, and she just does a small curtsy. Well, it was nice to meet you, Veni. To properly introduce myself, I am Vivian Vanderbilt, sister of Inev, as I'm sure you've gathered. And, I would stay and chat longer, but a look sort of crosses her face. The last time I left my chess set unattended, Hope started eating the pieces again, so I'm going to have to go and make sure she doesn't do that. If you'll excuse
very
me.
fair. It was nice to meet you all, and you know,
Of course.
thinking about the name Veni, there seems to be a lot of V's in this family, so I get the impression I'll fit in fine.
I have an odd attraction to V as a letter, I suppose.
Okay, because
I
if you said
feel-
as a number, I was gonna be a little bit concerned, because like, why not just say 5 in that point, you know?
I suppose so. She leaves it at that.
Also, Inev would briefly go over to Elixabeth. How is she looking?
She's just like arms crossed, looking at Veni with a certain curiosity, sitting unprofessionally upon her mother's desk.
Mhm.
Though otherwise not saying much.
Yep.
Right. I've been meaning on whispering a little something to you, Inev, but the opportunity just hasn't arisen, so maybe I should talk with you at some point in the future. Some point soon.
You know where I live.
I suppose so. I'll try not to forget it, kid.
Okay. But yeah, I'm always here if you ever want to talk about anything.
No,
Elizabeth walks into the manor. Where am I?
Okay. But, I guess, unless anyone else can think of anything, I should probably bring Veni back and go meet again with, go meet again, because I did promise I would go and, play with her.
Yeah, that does remind me. At some point, Inev, we're gonna have to have if we're gonna be fighting together, we should probably have a well and proper talk about the kinds of things I should be able to do once this puppet stops being so frail and weak. No offense to you, I'm sure you trained what you had up fine before I was in it. I'm sorry, this is coming off bad. I'm just trying to say that we need to have a talk about like some of the stuff I'm gonna be able to do in the future, my power set sort of thing, so that we can like properly strategize and stuff.
Yeah, well, kind of waves to Elixabeth and gives Kavai a hug. I'll talk to you both later. I'm gonna bring Veni back to my room and then I'm gonna go to Vivian.
That is fair, though. I want to say one quick thing to Veni, if I may.
Oh, of course.
Oh, you got something to say to me? I'm gonna be honest, I'm a little bit surprised. What's up?
She, with no, like, concern, just, like, walks in and, when talking to a child, kneel down, get to their level to the puppet, right?
Yeah.
No. I wholeheartedly believe that you have the best intentions in mind, Veni. Though, I want to make something abundantly clear. If you, at any point, mess with Inev or my family, I'm going to take that little scythe of yours and break it in half.
God, you are as scary as I thought you were. I would. As strong as you are, I very firmly doubt you have the strength needed to properly break a legendary blade. That said, I will take it. I will keep it in mind and take it to heart. I wasn't planning on it in the first place. Uh, I I ain't the kind of guy sitting in a legendary blade that's about to betray the person that's wielding them.
Worst comes to worst, I would see what the sun could do to something like you.
And with that, she backs out of the aura.
You know, the sun might be enough to break.
that would actually, to be fair, that's pretty good.
Though, again, truth be told, I do not believe that you will do that, Inev. While it may be odd for my given profession, I attempt to see the best in people. I attempt to trust them to the best of my ability. And I trust you. Welcome to the family, Veni.
Yeah, thank you.
If you need any assistance of any variety, let me know. I am often in my office signing paperwork and the like, and if I'm not there, give me a few minutes.
Alright, good to know. It has been, you know what? You have that game with your sister to play, and to be honest, it's been like, I I'll be honest, I again don't have a good track of years. It's been a while since video games were in my domain. I wanna take a peek at exactly what's what I've
Holy
lost,
shit!
so to speak.
Is this Super Smash Brothers? I fucking love Super Smash Brothers. I've been waiting for this to get out of my domain.
Thank God I still got Super Smash Bros. Ultimater.
Alternatively,
Believe me, you do not want them to make Super Smash Brothers Ultimater. Trust me.
Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, yeah. Right.
Okay, but yeah, I'll let you do what you want to, Veni. But I'll meet you in my room later.
Yeah.
See you around, kids.
You know,
Bye.
if I'm gonna be in your train of people following you. Oh, well, by the way, if I'm gonna be in your train of people following you, or I don't know how to refer to them.
Companions.
That is a good word for that. If I'm gonna be within your train of companions, I should probably get to know the other ones at least a little.
Yeah. They should both be fine because they're attached to my epithet. Otto's the Oshawa and Orb's the Orb.
You know what? That makes sense. I was gonna, if it was the other way around, I might be asking questions.
Alright.
And I imagine they leave.
Alright. Is that where this comes to an end, Samber?
I think that would be a good place to come to an end with it, yeah.
Alright, that was fun.
So, yeah, in the future with, Inev using Veni, there are various things detailed in the sheet I sent you. But generally speaking, he will normally follow the same rules. Feel free to, still use him if I'm not around in, combat and such. That is perfectly fine. If you want or need him to talk, let me know, and if I am available, I can jump in.
Gotcha.
But otherwise, generally assume, unless it is explicitly stated, that he is just talking to Inev and Bren.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. Well, friends, thank you everybody for watching. Hope you enjoyed this fun little bit of story building that we've done. Hope you enjoyed Inev and the Vanderbilts' wacky fun shenanigans. And,
Yeah!
if you want to see more of what all we're doing, scroll up and find that link and click it again, because I'm not gonna get Austin to do it.
I'm gonna get it though. Here you go.
You got it? Alright.
There
Join
you
Fine
go.
Dining! Oh, there it is!
Hands you a fine dining link. Hands you a fine dining link.
Woo!
Crack.
But
crack,
with that,
crack.
Veni, crack. Say goodbye to chat, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye to
Chat, everyone.
chat, everybody.